very early morning, so very good morning from Europe. Good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are. Thursday, that's good. 13th of August 2020. The 13th maybe not that great. We will see. Piotr here is Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and we just got Australian job market data. So we are going to check what happened, what kind of the impact it could have when it comes to the Australian dollar. Stay with me, and we are going to check the charts right here, right now. Okay, so as you can see, guys, we have some kind of the spike post the data, right? And the thing is that the numbers are quite really positive. You know, when it comes to the Europe or when it comes to the US, I know the details. To be honest with you, I don't know how strong the support from the government is, but anyway, employment change 114,000, right? 114.7, so it's a really good beat. Expectations were 30k, so it's like, I would say, almost 4 times better. The unemployment rate 7.5, it's also better, right? 7.8 was the market expectations. And as usual, the devil is in details. And of course, the question about the full-time employment and part-time employment. Full-time 43.5, prior was minus 38. Part-time 71,000, prior was 249,000, right? And the participation rate 64.7. It's like beat everywhere. So that's why we see Australian dollar a little bit higher with the positive tone from the Wall Street, right? It could be that we are going to see higher levels. How high can we go? Well, we are fighting again when it comes to the US dollar. We are fighting again around this 71.90, 72 supply zone. That's number one. Let's switch a little bit lower. Let's switch to the 1 hour chart, right? And guys, that's really starting to look from the at least from the intraday perspective, starting to look good. So in case of the break to the upside, right, I'm going to, from the intraday perspective, I'm going to look for a pullback from levels close to 70.10. I'm going to look for a pullback towards 71.80, and if we are going to hold on the short time frame, lower time frame like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, right, we might see attempt to go higher. And from the intraday perspective, I'm going to look for buying opportunity around the 71.80 with 72.20, 40 pips, but the stop is gonna be no bigger than 15 pips. So that's how I see the things when it comes to the Australian dollar versus US dollar, taking into the consideration that overall US dollar is again getting weaker during this Tokyo session. Now the next one is a Euro Australian dollar, and here from the daily chart perspective, still, to be honest with you, we quite didn't get back to where I've been waiting for, right? So what happened lately? Lately it was under finishing the business when it comes to the swing low, right? This zone hold Riley, right? Okay, cool. But now I still believe we might get some kind of the 1-to-1. So in that case, levels close to 62, right, might be in play. And in that case, when it comes to the Euro Australian dollar, that's the level where I'm going to look for the possibility to buy, right? Short term, let's switch lower. short term when it comes to this pair? Well, it's also quite visible that this 1-to-1 could be in play. So the levels we were discussing on the daily, right? We might see first some kind of the bounce around 64, but if we are going to break the 64, if we are going to break the 64, one second, I'm so sorry. All right. So once we are going to break the 64, we are going to reopen the levels I've been talking about, right? So this type, bigger move, and then 1-to-1 discussed a second ago based on the daily chart towards 62. So here looks like the Australian dollar short term got the chance to move higher, right? Meaning that euro Australian dollar got the chance to move a little bit lower. And finally, AUD Kiwi, right? There is a space towards 109.50, 109.50, 110. It's nice channel going on here, right? So probably that's gonna be some kind of the target, right? So what I'm going to look for some kind of the pullback. Let's have a look from the intraday perspective what kind of the pullback we might get when it comes to the 15-minute chart. And if we can retest pre-data levels around 109, right? That's something I might be interested in. The stop is going to be 25, upside is going to be 100, so 4 are possible. So taking into the consideration risk on, to be honest with you, basically when it comes to the New York session, but I have to point out one thing, but in a second. Taking into the consideration the good close, risk on sentiment during the US session, taking into the consideration overall positive sentiment right now, the higher levels short term, very short term, when it comes to the Australian dollar are possible. The only scratch I see here is information from the White House that there is no way that Democrats and the Republicans, they can get into the next relief package. Simply the differences are huge. The differences are so huge, so probably they are not gonna be the compromise, and that's why dollar is weaker, but the stocks didn't react it yet. So that's the only scratch. That's the only thing for now where I see we might get some kind of the risk of sentiment second part of the Tokyo session or beginning of the European session, right? So for now, Australian data very good, positive sentiment after the US close. Overall, Australian dollar got the chance to see the higher levels, but guys, don't be trapped. Number one. Number two, lower exposure. Number three, very tight stops. With that being said, wish you great rest of the Tokyo session and see you around, guys. Take care. Goodbye.